Welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is our 5 loosening exercises of Huang Xian's. This will be, I don't know which lesson this is now, but it is movement number 1. Finally, we're on movement number 1. We did movement 0, the preparatory movement. We did movement 2, loosening the body, i.e. freeing up our body's movement to move independently. And movement number 3, which is loosening of the shoulders or hips, basically taking a stroll. For this one, we're going to backtrack, and we're going to go backtrack to movement number 1. I don't particularly like teaching this one first, and even though it was probably the first one in the series and the first real one in the series, I doubt there was the preparatory movement in the original series. It probably started here, but this particular movement is going to require that a couple of the things from movement number 2 and number 3 are just sort of automatic and rote, and we don't have to worry or think about those things in order to really get the most out of movement number 1. Movement number 1, we are starting to add some pretty serious coiling, and this coiling fundamental is it's going to be everywhere in Tai Chi, and we really want to get a handle on it, and we want to really sort of work this into our system. It is probably best worked into our system in a practice called silk reeling. That is going to be upcoming future unit. It is one of the most important exercises we can possibly do. Probably one of the only essential exercises, I would say. This is a fantastic way to start getting into that sort of concept and idea and having to embody that. So this one is really about loosening the waist. And the waist, as we're going to define it here, there are potentially different definitions, but for our case, the waist is going to be the area between our ribs and our hips. And by between our ribs and our hips, I mean between our ribs and our hips all the way around. And we're just going to start getting a real twist through there. Now that twist through there is going to be coordinated with a couple of the other twists that we were working on in our other movements. Our hands are going to do a very similar thing to movement number 2, where they're essentially going to be up, and we're going to let them drop, although instead of having both of them cross in front of us, we're going to have one go front and one go back. Again, arms up, one goes front, one goes back. One goes front, one goes back. If I were to do that from behind, one goes front, one goes back. One goes front, one goes back. Now we're going to combine that with a couple of other things. We definitely want to get a bit of that slappy feeling that we were working on in movement number 2. So that's going to become part of it. This compound movement is sort of slapping down, right? We're going to have a little bit of that feeling going on in it, nice and loose and relaxed. We're going to start adding the hip twist from movement number 3, where we're doing this thing, right? So that hip twist is going to become part of this. Front and back. And then we're going to add in the waist. So that is going to compound this movement, and we're finally going to allow our shoulders off of our hips. So as my hips twist, my waist also twists at the same speed, the same rate, so that I finish the movement, my hips fully twisted and my waist fully twisted at the same time. And then as I come up out of it, I return everything to neutral at exactly the same time, arms up. And as I twist my hips and my waist, so I wind up in that final position, hips, waist, arms, all at the same time, undoing that and coming back up, down, twist, back up. All of these systems have to operate in perfect synchronization. That is no easy task, and why I don't teach this one first. If we can knock off a couple of those other skills from the other movements, then we're just adding a twist. Sorry, but we're just adding a waist twist to movements that we were basically already doing. Arms up and twist. Twist. So arms up, totally neutral in the center. As our arms drop down, we twist through the hips, twist through the waist. Everything finishes the movement in the same place, and then untwists, coming back to neutral. So it's just coordinating a couple of the systems that we've already worked on and adding a twist. I'm sorry, I know I said just. It's not easy. Don't be hard on yourself about it. It's going to take a bunch of practice. If you can film yourself, it can really help you notice, especially things like timing. So if my arms are up here and I go to do the movement and I do my arms first, my arms are just kind of hanging out as I finish twisting. You know, maybe I notice that sort of thing when I play it back. Oh, okay, I really need to slow down my arms to try and get them to match that same movement and timing. All right. Or perhaps it's the other way. You notice anything. If you can practice with a friend, check each other out, point things out. I think you might be doing this. I think you might be doing that. Help each other out with their form, or get to a class. Nothing beats a teacher. Try my best here on YouTube, but nothing beats a teacher. All right, now that we've done that, so we've done basically our flap or drop, although we're just going front and back this time, adding that. We are twisting through the hips like we were doing in this movement. We are adding a waist twist to that, so we get a fuller twist. The next thing that we're going to add to this is a little bit of a drop. So as I come up to the top here, what I want to do is I want to focus on bending my knees and having that kind of start the motion. That dropping action. So the weight of my body descending down is the thing that's going to pull this. So as my knees bend, it pulls me down. And that pulling down, that descending, that dropping, that just letting gravity take my whole body is the thing that's going to pull this whole thing down. Right? So I don't necessarily recommend doing it really quick or fast. I'm more just showing you this as a bit of a demo of kind of the energy we want to get behind this dropping down, this pulling, this, right? want that sort of thing to be there. So if you're having trouble grasping it, just try and give yourself just a little bit more, right? Just a little slowly, just a little bit of a drop, a bit of an over-exaggeration, melodramatic. You know, pretend there's a fainting couch there. Right? Have a little bit of a dropping down into it. This is going to pull us down. Pull down, pull down. Pull down, pull down. That's the next level of this. Trying to coordinate that all together so that as I come down and I finish the movement, I hit the bottom and then come back up, down, hit the bottom, come back up. So it's about not just this anymore, not just the hip twist, not the weights twist, all coordinating. Now we're adding that drop into this as well. So the drop comes, it pulls the whole system down, pulls back up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. From there, we've got one last thing to add to this, and this is where the coils start to take on a whole new dimension. As I mentioned in one of the previous videos, there is special connections in the major joints of our limbs when we're doing Tai Chi. So shoulders and hips, knees and elbows, wrists and ankles. And for this particular one, even though this thing is focusing on loosening the hips, there's a special thing we're going to do with our elbows. Just a tiny tweak we're going to make to this. So far, we have been coming up to our top position, leading with our wrists, and letting our wrists lead this motion, right? Still doing the same thing as number 2, and that's awesome. However, we can make a slight tweak to it and get another extremely cool, extremely important effect, and that is we are going to now start leading with our elbow. So as our elbows come up now in this top position, rather than trying to be all bird-like, we are instead going to be a little more scarecrow-like. So it's going to be like we're hanging out on a pole here. So our elbows get a little bit of that upward rotation, and our arms are rotating a little more like this. Previously we were doing a wrist up above our elbows. Now we're going to try and get our elbows slightly above our wrists. And this is going to cause a rotation in our arm. Okay, one of those similar rotations as we were doing in movement number 2, right? Where this bone is rotating here. So now we're going to do that, rotating that bone out to the side. Bone rotates up, and now as I go through the movement, the bone rotates in, bone rotates up, bone rotates in. So I end up getting a much more almost scoopy motion out of this. So I'm kind of moving my arm almost on this sort of a circular path, right? As this bone rotates, it creates the movement. Rotate that bone, elbows up, rotate that bone, elbows up, rotate. And this is of course going to change also how it affects the back. So elbows up, now as I drop it back down, that bone rotates, up, rotate, 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 up, rotate. So this becomes much more of a long bone movement than a hands slappy sort of movement. So the last level of this is putting that all together, and this becomes sort of a massive thing for your brain to process all at once. I don't recommend trying to process it all at once. Give yourself little steps and stages, just like we've gone through in this video. Start off just getting your arms moving front and back. Start getting your hips swinging side to side as you do that. Add in your waist, get a bigger twist. Time all three of those things together. Start adding a drop, a descent as this happens. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add in that long bone rotation. So to do that, we're just going to shift our focus from our wrist high to elbow high. And we're going to make use of that coordination of knees and elbows. So as we started the movement before, bending our knees now, where we're using that to power it, we're going to do the same thing with our arms. So our elbows are going to power through this movement. They're going to drop at the same rate as our knees do. We're going to combine those together to give us one complete movement. Coming up, elbows high, pull down with the elbows as our knees bend. Get to the end of the motion all at the same time. Reset, come back up, scarecrow, all at the same time. Pull down, knees and elbows. Knees and elbows, pull. And up. Knees and elbows, pull. Pull. And when you're done, stand up at the top, let your arms come down to the side, and you're ready to start movement number 2. So, thanks for going through all that one. Don't worry about trying to get it all down in one setting, one 20-minute video. It's more like watch this 20-minute video once, then work on step 1 until you don't have to think about that anymore. When you got that down, add step 2, step 3. You can always come back, rewatch these things. You don't have to do the whole series and learn the whole series in one day or 1 week or 1 month or whatever pace is good for you. It's more just that you bite off these small chunks one bit at a time. Hey, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, anything that I didn't explain well enough, I'm sure there's plenty of things. Other stuff I can add, clarify, create more content for, please drop them down in the comments. And thank you for joining me on this journey. We are in the home stretch now. All we've got is movement 4 and movement 5 left. Actually, in the next video, you're going to see how funny that really is.